Aloha, my friends. I'm Jacqueline Claire. Welcome back to the study along of the Advent of Divine Justice. We are getting very close to the end of this letter/book. I wore my best suit for the occasion. If you are tuning in for the first time, check out the first video link below. It's called Launching a New Project to understand what this is and why I'm doing it if you in fact don't know anything about the Advent of Divine Justice. And be sure to like this video if you do and subscribe to the channel. It'll help other people find this content out there on the interwebs. We need more empowerment and positivity out there, right? So we are jumping in, folks, to paragraph 120 of the Advent of Divine Justice, and there's also a link below if you'd like to follow along. This was written in 1938, as a reminder. That the world is beset with perils, that dangers are now accumulating and are actually threatening the American nation, no clear-eyed observer can possibly deny. The earth is now transformed into an armed camp. As much as 50 million men are either under arms or in reserve. No less than the sum of 3 billion pounds is being spent in 1 year on its armaments. I wonder what it is now. The light of religion is dimmed and moral authority disintegrating. The nations of the world have, for the most part, fallen prey to battling ideologies that threaten to disrupt the very foundations of their dearly won political unity. Agitated multitudes in these countries seethe with discontent, are armed to the teeth, are stampeded with fear, and groan beneath the yoke of tribulations engendered by political strife, racial fanaticism, national hatreds, and religious animosities. I think Shoghi Effendi might roll over in his blessed grave. I'm so bad sometimes with my choice of words. Forgive me. But what I want to say, I don't necessarily think that he would like, but I mean it as praise. I think his profundity and the power and importance of what he was saying has overshadowed what an amazing poet he is. His use of language is incredible. Agitated multitudes in these countries seethe with discontent, are armed to the teeth, are stampeded with fear, and groan beneath the yoke of tribulations engendered by political strife, religious fanaticism, national hatreds, and religious animosities. It would be beautiful if it wasn't so true and so important what he's actually conveying here. Political strife, racial fanaticism, national hatreds, and religious animosities. The winds of despair, Baha'u'llah has unmistakably affirmed, are alas blowing from every direction, and the strife that divides and afflicts the human race is daily increasing. The signs of impending convulsions and chaos can now be discerned. The ills, Abdul-baha, writing as far back as 2 decades ago from when this was written, has prophesied the ills from which the world now suffers will multiply. The gloom which envelops it will deepen. The Balkans will remain discontented. Its restlessness will increase. The vanquished powers will continue to agitate. They will resort to every measure that may rekindle the flame of war. Movements, newly born and worldwide in their range, will exert their utmost for the advancement of their designs. The movement of the left will acquire great importance. Its influence will spread. End quote. Back to Shoghi Effendi. As to the American nation itself, the voice of its own president, emphatic and clear, warns his people that a possible attack upon their country has been brought infinitely closer by the development of aircraft and by other factors. Its Secretary of State, addressing at a recent conference the assembled representative of all the American republics, utters no less ominous a warning. These resurgent forces loom threateningly throughout the world. Their ominous shadow falls athwart our own hemisphere. As to its press, the same note of warning and of alarm at an approaching danger is struck. We must be prepared to defend ourselves both from within and without. Our defensive frontier is long. It reaches from Alaska's Point Barrow to Cape Horn and ranges the Atlantic and the Pacific. When or where Europe's and Asia's aggressors may strike at us, no one can say. It could be anywhere in time. We have no option save to go armed ourselves. We must mount vigilant guard over the Western Hemisphere. End quote. Back to Shoghi Effendi. The distance that the American nation has traveled since its formal and categoric repudiation of the Wilsonian ideal. Formal and categoric repudiation of the Wilsonian ideal. The changes that have unexpectedly overtaken it in recent years, the direction in which world events are moving with their inevitable impact on the policies and economy of that nation, are to every Baha'i observer viewing the developments in the institutional situation in the light of the prophecies, both Baha'u'llah and Abdul-baha, most significant and highly instructive and encouraging. To trace the exact course which in these troubled times and pregnant years this nation will follow would be impossible. We can only, judging from the direction its affairs are now taking, anticipate the course she will most likely choose to pursue in her relationship with both the republics of America and the countries of the remaining continents. My dear friends, join me next Wednesday to finish the Advent of Divine Justice. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible deepening adventure. Comments are now enabled. If you have anything to say, once again, I invite you to like this video, to share it on social media, subscribe to this channel, and I want to give a very special thank you to my patrons who help me in being able to sit here and read with you and deepen on these things and put this content out into the world, and to improve my equipment with my good lights and the sense of support and collaboration that it affords me. So thank you, patrons, and I have a link below if you'd like to learn more about that and about my artwork. All right, you guys, let's go out and try to be the greatest shining lights that we can, and catch ourselves in moments of any kind of prejudice or judgment, and try to be that light and that force of unity and self-improvement and service to others that can make the world a better place. I'll catch you next Wednesday.